Hello and welcome, my name is FiveM, and welcome to another video. I have bought a new headset, but I'm switching to my old one, just because the microphone is better. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna sell my other headset, so I'm just gonna need to switch in between. That's a little thing I have to do. And in a few days I'm buying a professional microphone for my PC, so hopefully the sound quality will be good and or the same, because that would be very nice. Anyway, let's get to the main point of the video. And let me change my car to what I use, and it's my Mifune, aka the Lexus IS200 or Toyota Altezza, and I'm just gonna show you the tune that I use for it, the tune I find good. And it's not a fast tune, it's a tune that I use for slow drifting, slow wide drifting and tandeming. Suspension, everything is stock except for the front springs and rear springs. I just have it fitted nicely so it has fitment and it just looks realistic, to be honest. When it comes to camber, I went negative. When it goes to when you can't go really positive on camber, can you? I mean, you can, but I doubt you really want to. Anyway, camber. Camber, I went for subtle camber, nothing too much, nothing too excessive. It's kind of a nice, clean look. Entire roll bar is 0. I don't know why, but it's 0. Caster, for this car I have it set to 10, normally I have it set to 3. And the differences I find is when it's 10, your front tires don't grip as much on the turn, and it's more difficult to do a 360 and reverse entries. So I usually put it up to 3, let me just fucking update that. Normally I have it set to 3, so it's easier to do a 360 entry and reverse entry. Ackerman, I have it set to 75 to also have good time doing reverse entries and stuff like that. Of course, maxed out my angle, like a normal person would. Front rim diameters is 18. I like small rims rather than massive ones. Tire width, I believe it's stock. Pressure, I think it's also stock. And what I like to do is I put 10% over my rear adhesion. For example, if I go 120 on front, I go 110 on rear. 110 on rear means 110 front. 90 on rear means 100 on front. And it's interchangeable. Sometimes I play on 110 and 100. That just depends on how I feel. If I want to catch up to people in tandem faster and better, that depends. Sometimes I go 190 to have really nice, clean, slow lines. Next we have the front wheel track and the rear wheel track. I have it basically set so it would fit nicely and it would look semi-realistic. I mean, the front doesn't really look realistic, does it? But yeah, it's still pretty clean. Tire profile 25%, I believe that's stock as well. Engine I have maxed out because I always like to have a maxed out engine, but sometimes I go down in torque, down with tune-up, down with limiter and lower the pressure, sometimes to have like 500 horsepower, but that also depends on what I'm feeling. Just limit everything to the left, because the turbocharger will be very fucking useful. If you disable the turbocharger, you will have very hard time initiating a drift, and it will be a lot more difficult. So I would recommend you always have a turbocharger. Anyway, let's go to transmission. I believe everything about final drive, gear 1, gear 2, gear 3, etc. is stock. And it's perfect in a way. I find it perfect, because I shift manually. I don't know if it changes anything, but I just like to shift manually. And I usually drift on the 4th gear, 5th gear for normal turns, and 3rd gear for small turns, like the first U-turn of Springstone or something small. Sequential transmission, yes. Diff lock ratio on 1, meaning that it's basically 100% locked. When it comes to brakes, I put max braking torque, so I can do the 360 entries and reverse entries very easily. Front brake bias 100%, which is also very good for when you need to brake, but you don't want to lose your drift. It's very good to have it on 100%. And of course, I have ABS on, because who wouldn't want to have ABS on? Come on. with 10,000 Newton meters, I think ABS is pretty important here, innit? So that's basically my tune for the Altezza or the IS200. Yes, because I changed it. And when it comes to the livery, I have made one livery on it. It's basically, I made a Twitch logo and YouTube logo, put my name up, which doesn't really take much skill, does it? Only thing about the Twitch logo is just you just need to take time with it, that's the only thing. And the bonnet is also blacked out, and that's the only livery I have on this car. Also the sponsors up top are a tiny detail. So, if the game will load up, thank you. Room list, and not really, cause FPS low. I'm going to go to Red Rock since I have 190 adhesion, meaning that I'm able to take these slow turns, nice and wide. And it's just Kino. Alright, ow, that hurts. Alright, so you can follow up with my input on my controller on the right bottom next to my odometer, because I do not really have a controller cam, and I'm not really planning on buying one. And I just realized that my sound is probably off. So this tune is basically slow and wide, but sometimes when you upshift, you go a bit too wide, so keep that in mind to be ready to brake and feather everything. Just don't really put too much input, don't like stick the throttle up to 100 and constantly keep on fucking redlining it. I would recommend just tapping it, and yeah, this is the tune. This is the tune. The tune is basically for slow drifting and tandeming. See, I went 100% throttle there, and I crashed. I ate shit, and my Altezza is broken. Anyway.
See me, I'm walking. Right, cause I don't run, fam. Make a film about me, fan a proper fucking stunt, man. I'm Captain Wiz and I'm actually shoving dirt in the dust, and I'm blowing it back in faces of wastemen who try and brush, man. I get a wheel in the club on a microphone. They didn't know I handle bars. It's a minor though. They offer me some gear, but I'm overtired. All this talking make a bread, I wanna cycle home. Yo, I flabbergast that bread and my stamina can be coming in handy. Flipping the script, I'm doing a what, I'm telling a story, doing a plan B. How the fuck on earth did we become so angry? Couple years ago, man was just reading a dandy. So how'd I go from reading a Vino to beating up emo, swimming in speedos to swinging in chinos, mimicking heroes to zeros, from Zorro to Tarantino, we're living like weirdos. Guess the level of violence increases as the fear grows, but just cause I spit on beats and spitting a cappella, don't think I won't rap a fella. Smack that nigga, making Aki swell up, leaving black and yellow. I ain't talking Wiz Khalifa, this Wiz Kid of the beat, are you a rancid dweller? Got the dank piff in my cellar, I'm the dank piff seller. Ting is smelling way too much, so wrap that in some cellar. Celebrate, calm man, one tell a mate about this massive fella. On the beat and on the shoot, there ain't no Aki better, Fassy's fed up, yo. In my raps, there's unlimited lyrics and syllables. Hitting my pinnacle isn't a miracle, it's kinda literal. Feeling a feeling that's minimal, physical feeling is more of a spiritual. Hitting a visual, audible justification of lyrically winning, that's why I be spitting again and again and again. Gripping the tip of the pen, hitting a split for the limb. They lyrically stepping to me, nah, I be lyrically stepping to them. Yeah, they're leveling up, but I'm leveling better than them. Tell it to listen, and we be stressing and never adjusting, and never ever again, never ever again. Watch me, clock me, knock me, but don't stop me. I got blocks that watched and got knocked me properly. I got props from locks to chops, it's often got me. Gassed as a motherfucker, lost and cocky. Watchy, you can't tell me that I don't win. Car on the beat, I'm like a granddad, I go in. Unique, brother, yeah, I got my own thing. Unique, you're not unique with gold rings. I'm a young brother with a lot of heart. Been at it from the start, I can tell you're gonna chart, but how you gonna older man when older man ain't half the smart? Trying to control a man like Zola can in Upton Park. I'm holding more knowledge than a folder can. I'm focusing, you know I love my heart. Ain't no more holding grams for ocean, man. Notice that I know my plan. T-Dot told me rope a dope's a joke, you need to go for man. So ocean goes for man, I owe you fam, owe you that. Came in the game with an old new act, invading the brain with an old new rap. Late in his stating that your old crew's whack, I had to do that. Had to man up, if you ain't got a boost to copy in bad luck. You ain't got a boost to copy, you fat fuck. You ain't got a boost to copy, I'm that that much. I got exquisite ability, mimicking vividest imagery. Lyrically stinging the kid to be killing the similes with nitty. Wanna be chilling with Fiddy and Diddy and Cuddy the kiddie that's in into Biggie. Button a ciggy with Dizzy and Wizzy. Sucking a titty like giggity. My ability can't limit me flow. Bugsy, biggity, bobbity. Gotta be properly honest as property. Copping the hot as the property, not a monopoly. Actual life in the top of me. Stopping them flopping is comedy, honesty, quality, optical oddity.
So yeah guys, see you tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed the tune, hope you enjoyed the video and my useless stalker game. And here you have an outro. Thanks for watching my video. If you want to support me and 94 Auto Club, you can buy our merch. Please do, it's a very good quality. I have the merch myself, it's amazing, I love it. You can buy it. We have hoodies, we have t-shirts, we have bandanas. Yeah, you name it, we have it. Link is in the description or right here. Yeah, that's... we will close that. Yeah, see you guys.